Hi boys and girls, it's Mrs. Mitchell, and today I have a book called Last Stop on Market Street. And it was written by Matt de la Peña, and the pictures are by Christian Robinson. And this story is about a little boy named CJ and his grandmother, who he calls Nana, and their ride on a bus. I wonder if any of you have ever been on a bus. I love this book cover because when you open it up wide, from the front to the back, it shows a city bus. Now, I know some of you ride the school bus, so you've had experience being a passenger. A passenger is what you call the people that ride on the bus. And then there's a bus driver. I know if you go on a school bus, you have a bus driver. City buses also have a bus driver. Now I want you to play a little I Spy with me real quick before we get started. Can you find a woman with a green handkerchief that has white polka dots? Take a minute and look, see if you can find her. There she is. All right, I wonder if you can find a man who's listening to music. See if you can find him. Do you see him? There he is. Can you see the man who's looking at his cell phone? He's near the back of the bus. He's next to a girl in an orange shirt. There he is. And last, let's see if you can find someone wearing white. Someone wearing the color white. She's near the front of the bus and behind the bus driver. Did you find her? There she is. All right, let's read this story. Last Stop on Market Street. I want you to pay attention to the setting of this story. If you look here, there are tall buildings, looks like some apartments maybe, and some houses. There's lots of traffic. Everything is close together, so I don't see big yards. I don't see alleyways between the houses. So this tells me that the setting of this story is probably a city. Does your neighborhood look like this or different from this? What are some of the ways that your neighborhood are the same and different from this setting of the story? For example, my neighborhood is the same because we have people outside that walk their dogs. But it's different because in my neighborhood, we don't have these tall apartment buildings. We have houses, lots of houses, but they're not so close together. Also, in my neighborhood, we don't have very busy traffic. You won't see lots of cars driving around, but you will see people riding their bikes and maybe out for a walk. So there's some ways that my neighborhood is the same as this, and some ways that it's different. How about you? Think about that. This little boy, CJ, he lives in the city. So let's read. CJ pushed through the church doors and skipped down the steps. The outside air smelled like freedom, but it also smelled like rain, which freckled CJ's shirt and dripped down his nose. He ducked under his Nana's umbrella, saying, "How come we gotta wait for the bus in all this wet?" "Trees get thirsty too," his Nana told him. "Don't you see that big one drinking through a straw?" CJ looked for a long time, but he never saw a straw. So again, he calls his grandmother Nana. What word do you use to call your grandmother? My kids call their grandmothers Gia and Nani. And I call my grandmother, one of them I call Grandma, and the other one I called Granny. So there's lots of names for grandmothers. What do you call yours? From the bus stop, he watched water pool on flower petals, watched rain patter against the windshield of a nearby car. His friend Colby climbed in, gave CJ a wave, and drove off with his dad. "Nana, how come we don't got a car?" Boy, what do we need a car for? We got a bus that breathes fire, and old Mr. Dennis, who always has a trick for you." The bus creaked to a stop in front of them. It sighed and sagged, and the doors swung open. There's the bus. I'm guessing Mr. Dennis must be the name of the bus driver. "What's that I see?" Mr. Dennis asked. He pulled a coin from behind CJ's ear, placed it in his palm. Nana laughed her deep laugh and pushed CJ along. They sat right up front. The man across the way was tuning a guitar. An old woman with curlers had butterflies in a jar. Nana gave everyone a great big smile and a "good afternoon." She made sure CJ did the same. Do you see the woman with the butterflies in the jar? And the man tuning his guitar? Seems like there are a lot of different people on this bus. The bus lurched forward and stopped, lurched forward and stopped. Nana hummed as she knit. "How come we always gotta go here after church?" CJ said. "Miguel and Colby never have to go nowhere." So, I bet none of you have ever complained to your mom or your grandmother about what you had to do or where you had to go, right? Yeah, I know my daughter sometimes has, because sometimes we gotta go places and do things that we don't want to do, but it doesn't seem to bother his grandma when he complains about it. "I feel sorry for those boys," she told him. "They'll never get a chance to meet Bobo or the sunglass man, and I hear Trixie got herself a brand new hat." CJ stared out the window, feeling sorry for himself. He watched cars zip by on either side, watched a group of boys hop curbs on bikes. So CJ's feeling bad because he has to ride on this long bus ride, but his grandmother is saying, "Well, if you didn't get to ride on the bus, you wouldn't meet all these different people." And these are the really interesting characters in the story. A man climbed aboard with a spotted dog. CJ gave up his seat. "How come that man can't see?" "Boy, what do you know about seeing?" Nana told him. "Some people watch the world with their ears." I wonder how you could do that. "That's a fact. Their noses, too," the man said, sniffing at the air. "That's a mighty fine perfume you're wearing today, ma'am." Nana squeezed the man's hand and laughed her deep laugh. So what do you notice about this guy? See, he has a dog. Do you know why he has that dog? Yeah, he's blind. That means he can't see. So he has this stick to help him see and his dog to help him be safe when he's walking. And then, like Grandma said, he uses his ears and his nose to see. He can't use his eyes, so he has to use those other senses. Two older boys got on next. CJ watched as they moved on by and stood in back. Sure wish I had one of those," he said. Nana set down her knitting. "What for? You got the real live thing sitting across from you." "Why don't you ask the man if he'll play us a song?" So what is he talking about that he wants? See what they have? He's saying he wishes he had headphones and a music player. And she says to him, "You got the real thing. You don't need a music player. You have the man who's playing the guitar." CJ didn't have to. The guitar player was already plucking strings and beginning to sing. "To feel the magic of music," the blind man whispered. "I like to close my eyes." Nana closed hers too. So did CJ and the spotted dog. Did you ever close your eyes when you're listening to music? It's so relaxing. You should try it if you haven't. Oh, look at him. So he's listening to the music, and here's how he's feeling while he's listening. And in the darkness, the rhythm lifted CJ out of the bus, out of the busy city. He saw sunset colors swirling over crashing waves, saw a family of hawks slicing through the sky. saw the old woman's butterflies dancing free in the light of the moon. CJ's chest grew full, and he was lost in the sound, and the sound gave him the feelings of magic. So he's doing like the blind man almost. He's kind of listening with his heart a little more than just his ears. He's thinking of the different things that he would see, maybe feel. The song ended and CJ opened his eyes. Everyone on the bus clapped, even the boys in back. Nana glanced at the coin in CJ's palm. CJ dropped it in the man's hat. "Last stop on Market Street," Mr. Dennis called. CJ looked around as he stepped off the bus. Crumbling sidewalks and broken down doors, graffiti-tagged windows and boarded-up stores. He reached for his Nana's hand. "How come it's always so dirty over here?" She smiled and pointed to the sky. "Sometimes when you're surrounded by dirt, CJ, you're a better witness for what's beautiful." CJ saw the perfect rainbow arcing over their soup kitchen. He wondered how his Nana always found beautiful where he never even thought to look. He looked all around them again, at the bus rounding the corner out of sight, and the broken street lamps still lit up bright, and the stray cat shadows moving across the wall. Look at that beautiful rainbow. Do you see it in the back? Right here between the buildings? When he spotted their familiar faces in the window, he said, "I'm glad we came." Looks like they're going to help in a soup kitchen, in a place where people who don't have food might go to get food. Wow, that's very bucket filling, isn't it? He thought his Nana might laugh her deep laugh, but she didn't. She patted him on the head and told him, "Me too, CJ. Now come on." And look, there they are. They're going to give soup out to the people who are hungry. The end. So CJ started out not wanting to go on the bus and not wanting to go to the soup kitchen, but he learned a lesson from his Nana, and that was to see beauty in things that don't feel very beautiful or don't feel so much fun. So here's my challenge for you today. Actually, I have two of them. Number one, I want you to get some chairs or cushions or pillows, and I want you to find a friend or one of your parents or grandma or grandpa or whoever you're learning with and playing with during the daytime, and I want you to pretend that you're either a bus driver or a passenger on the bus and take a picture and share with us. Maybe you'll act out being the lady with the jar of butterflies, or the man with his guitar, or the boys listening to their music on the bus, and just play and imagine and have fun with that, because even though we're stuck inside right now, you can do something beautiful and fun and think of the great things like your imagination that you have to help you stay busy and stay happy. And then the other thing that I want you to do is I want you to think about something that you think is beautiful. In the story, Nana thought all of these people were beautiful, right? She thought the man, the blind man, the people at the soup kitchen, she thought they were beautiful. And CJ thought that the rainbow was beautiful, right? I want you to think about something that you think is beautiful, and I want you to draw a picture, and I want you to share with us why you think that's beautiful, so that we can all see and we can all think about beautiful things together. I hope you enjoyed this story, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.